Bane, Ironmonger, and they kidnap Tony and are like, yeah, man, we want more money and weapons from you, before we kill Tony, kill this guy, and Obadiah has to take them out. So then it's like he took out those guys. That's going to cause problems, down the line. So eventually it starts causing problems down the line. You see a guy with a 10 rings tattoo on the back of his neck giving Victor Vanko stuff, resources to work with, so that he can make his own arc reactor and how his energy whip. So I'm like, yes, see, these guys are doing stuff. And then in the third movie, you see the Mandarin, you see all this other stuff going on. I'm like, yes, this is real, this is real. And of course, also it's Iron Man. It's Iron Man. So in the Iron Man thing, obviously there's going to be a Mandarin. Obviously, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. So that's what you do. You have the Mandarin. Let's see what time it is for. Been going for a little while there. Let's see. We're good. All right. So yeah, Iron Man. So then it's like, okay, you got Iron Man. We got. So the Mandarin's real. I'm like, why are you saying the Mandarin's not real? Thankfully, that Hail to the King special I saw online, that video, say there's showing off there's a real Mandarin organization, and that Ben Kingsley's character, while not the real Mandarin, is going to be taken to see the real one. Now, I have no problem with him being some apprentice, being the living Mandarin. Yeah, I'd have no problem with it being like this legend, the real original Mandarin with the 10 magical rings being a legend, he died long ago, and now they have, people who take up the mantle, and do stuff in his name. I have no problem with that. And they take him to see, they take Ben Kingsley's character to see the real one, and stuff like that, and that's how that goes. Fine with me. So I'm so glad that they make things better than it was in Iron Man 3 with the Mandarin, because it's just like I'm seeing it, I'm like, what? This could have been so great, and you messed it up. Jeremy Joss did say once, hey, it was like they tried some of this stuff in Batman Dark Knight Rises, where they basically were like, okay, we thought Bane was the villain. We thought Bane was the villain for a while, and it's like, okay, Bane's the villain. Then later it's like, oh no, I'm Talia al Ghul. Talia al Ghul's the villain, and they're like, oh, it's a worse villain. Oh no, Talia al Ghul, daughter of Ra's al Ghul, who is one of Batman's most dangerous enemies. She's the one doing all the stuff, pulling all the strings. This is terrible. That's escalation right there. And he's like, that was awesome, because now it's like, oh no, this girl wants to fulfill her father's work. Her father's work was to destroy Gotham, because it's, that brings things back into balance. That's bad. Bane was just like, I'm just holding the city to ransom. I can beat you up, Batman. But now it's like, oh no, the whole city is going to get destroyed. If that's what she's after. Oh no, this is bad news. It's escalation. With this thing, it was the exact opposite. It was, you have this dangerous guy who is in comics one of Iron Man's worst enemies, and now he's a fake. And now you have this guy who's not one of Iron Man's worst enemies. Now, it's Aldrich Killian. Aldrich Killian could, in my opinion, had some great ideas. There were some great things going on with this guy, but the way they did it really ticked me off, because basically you had things going. This is going to be a long video. I'm just telling you right now. The way things were going, they messed things up with this. Okay, there was stuff there that could have been really good if they did it right, but in my opinion, they did it wrong. One of the biggest problems is with Marvel villains in general, and in Iron Man films, is that you need a good sympathetic villain, and they're figuring that out. They're figuring that out, getting that stuff going well now. Thanos is in some ways a sympathetic villain, not as much Killmonger to me, but still pretty sympathetic. Definitely some stuff there that I could be like, I can understand a bit why you want to do this stuff. I'm still like, yeah, I don't think you loved Gamora enough when you did what you did, but no spoilers for Infinity War. But I know I'm not a fan. No, I don't buy that you loved her more than anything. Check out my comment on what I think. Excuse me. That music is not mine. That music is not mine at all. That's just an alarm clock. Hey, go away. Not mine. That's just an alarm clock. We're gonna keep going. So seeing that, I'm like, yeah, no, other stuff is better, but yeah, still. Here's the big deal, people say they like Killmonger, right? Eric Killmonger from Black Panther, and I think I kind of liked him too, of course, still. You know, he's a jerk. He's a monster trying to kill everything. So it's like, yeah, I can't be like, yay, I agree with you. No, no. You're doing some crazy stuff, dude. But still, it's like, you know, I can understand why he's doing it. His father was killed. You know, spoilers of Black Panther sometimes. His father was killed, you know, because of, you know, the Black Panther. You know, T'Challa's dad, Eric's dad, got killed. So it's like, okay, you know, I mean, he's angry at him for letting that happen. Done. You know, I can understand this stuff. Same thing happened with Iron Man 2 with Victor Vanko. Okay. And people, of course, don't like Iron Man too much because it was too cluttered. They tried to do so much in there, put the Avenger stuff in there, all kinds of other stuff in there, and I can understand why people don't like it. It was just it was so busy. It was just so much stuff trying to get fit in there that it just didn't have that much going on. But still, you had Victor Vanko. In my opinion, was my favorite Iron Man villain. You know, because you know the stuff was going on. All you know, Killmonger, not Killmonger, Ironmonger, Ironmonger. Obadiah Stane had a little something going on. Not as much as Victor Vanko though. But here's the deal: Obadiah Stane was like this. He is was one of the people who was like basically like an uncle to Tony. You know, he was a good family friend, and he hung out with Tony and his parents and stuff. As you know, they grew when the business grew. You know, and the business grew in things. Eventually, Howard and Tony's mom and dad were killed. And so, you know, Obadiah basically inherited the company, and Tony, you know, or helped out, was like behind the scenes with Tony, and was like, hey, okay, I'm behind the scenes with Tony, helping you. You do your thing, you show off, you do your stuff. You're the face of the company. I'm behind the scenes. I'm behind the man. But he was, of course, being a jerk. You know, giving stuff to the highest bidder, causing all kinds of problems. You know, and eventually Tony sees the fighters is out, and they fight, and eventually Obadiah is killed. Eventually ends up dead because, of course, he tried to get in his own iron suit and do some crazy stuff, and eventually was killed. Well, his suit was destroyed along with him inside it. So basically, it's like, yeah, it was destroyed with him inside of it. So I'm like, yeah, he's gone. So yeah, that was not cool because of course, that was basically, you know, he betrayed Tony. You know, the guy betrayed Tony. I was like, oh, that guy was my family, and he betrayed me. You know, that was bad. That was good. You know, that was like something. But Victor's was even better. Because it was like this, because Tony Stark's dad and Victor's dad were working together to make the arc reactor and other technology like it, you know, and then Victor's dad decided to try to sell this stuff to the highest bidder. Tony's father found that out, exposed him, and he was eventually deported, and basically lived the rest of his life in squalor. Raised Victor in squalor, and you know, and you see right at the beginning, you know, Howard Stark. No, not Howard Stark. Richard's dad is on his deathbed, and he's like going like, pointing at the TV, you know, going like, you know, with Tony Stark talking about stuff, you know, and Tony Stark had like a meeting or some kind. He's like, that should be you, you know. It's like, it's okay, Dad, it's okay. Then he dies, and then you see, you know, Victor, you know, is crying and freaking out, and he starts making his suit and stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is a good way to do it. This guy does do horrible things, but you can understand why he is angry at Tony and his family for getting this, basically causing his father, you know, basically death, you know, dishonor, you know, things like that. I can understand why this guy would go to these lengths to get this guy to fight Tony. What I do not understand is why Aldrich Killian would go to the lengths he went to fight Tony. Because here's the deal. With Aldrich Killian, the story begins back when Tony was still being a jerk. Before he was, you know, he ended up in that cave and learned to make his iron suit and to actually care about other people. So this is back when he's in his party days, and so he's partying it up. He's hanging out with these two girls, going to a hotel. Outside the hotel is nerdy Aldrich Killian, going like, hey, you know, Mr. Stark, you know, I've heard of you. You're one of the greatest engineers in the world. You know, I do a little engineering myself. You know, I do a little something myself. And you know, I'm working on this thing, this new organization called Advanced Idea Mechanics. You know, I would like you, you know, and I would like you to help me, you know, work on the, work, basically work with me on the ground floor to make this organization amazing, amazing like yours is, I mean, wouldn't it be great? It's like, it'd be so cool to have you as one of my partners, as my business partner, And then the guy's like, oh, yeah, of course. He's like, of course, being a jerk is like, oh, of course, I'll work with you, but I'll say goodbye to these girls first. Then after I say goodbye, wait on the roof of the hotel, we'll say goodbye to these girls first. Then we'll talk, we'll talk and figure this whole thing out. It's like, okay, cool. So he goes up to the roof. Tony, being a jerk, does not show up. Blows him off, doesn't show up, hangs out with the girls instead. And it's like, I'm like, and it's like, yeah, I waited up there for hours and he never showed. And now I decided to do things myself. I'm like, okay. So why are you trying to kill him? Why are you trying to kill him and his friends and other people? That's the issue with me. That to me does not warrant. That would tick me off. I'd be ticked off. I'd be like, oh no, this dude, shoot, he done messed up. He done messed it up. He forgot. There's like this great opportunity for him to be on the ground floor of the advanced idea mechanics. And he messed it up. I'm going to be better than him. I'm going to make better stuff than him. Because be like Justin Hammer, just like, man, shoot, I'm going to be better than him. I'm going to make better robots than him. I'm going to mess his stuff up. Not kill anyone. Kill people? Really? This guy, after that? It makes no sense to me. The guy's basically a psycho, and I can't take him seriously. That's basically how it goes with that kind of stuff. So then when you see him just doing all this crazy stuff, doing all this crazy stuff with extremists, all this other stuff, it's just like, yeah, why? Why? All the time. And then it's like, at the final battle is another reason why I don't like this movie. The final battle is basically Tony and Pepper. Pepper's been captured and infected with extremists. Now, here's the deal with this. We know extremists, in this movie, extremists may not be the same as in comics, which is fine, because they're just trying to figure out how to adapt it properly. But we know extremists is basically this stuff that's supposed to be some sort of like nanite, nano robot thing that can do some cool stuff. All right, can do some really cool stuff for a person. Can make them be, make them smarter and stronger and faster, and of course, flame on. Of course, unfortunately, it has the side effect of maybe if you don't do it right, if it's not done right, causing people to explode. Which happened a few times. Including one time where Happy was killed and was not killed, where Happy was almost killed. He wasn't killed. He was not killed. Thank God. But still, he was almost killed. And this makes me another thing that makes me a little bit annoyed. For some reason, the movie liked to hate on stuff that Tony did in other movies, and Iron Man did in other movies. Like Avengers, the original Avengers. Tony is having PTSD and nightmares from the stuff he did in that movie, and I'm like, wait, how does that work? Let me see here. You have Tony is flying around in his Iron Man suit. All right, he's shooting at things, shooting at the aliens. Then a nuclear missile is shot at New York. He grabs the missile, lifts it up into the sky, into space, aims at the mothership. It explodes. It blows up the mothership and saves New York and stops the aliens from attacking. So I'm like, okay. And then he falls to Earth and is saved by the Hulk. The Hulk saves him and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's, okay, that's normal stuff for Tony. Why would he have nightmares about it? It makes sense that that's what he does. He does all the time. It makes sense for him to not have problems with it. It makes no sense for him to be like, oh, I have nightmares because of that. I'm like, nah, why? Why have nightmares for that? In Age of Ultron, he had nightmares because he dreamed with Black Widow's powers. Not Black Widow, Scarlet Witch's powers. She used some power, her Mind Stone powers on him to basically, make him see the dark side, a dark future for everybody. He's like going, oh no, my people, my team's dead. I failed my team. I gotta do something. And so he makes Ultron. That's stuff. Okay, I like that. No, that was good.